fire noise.
Classic.
Yeah, everybody. All right, guys, put your dicks away. We're going to actually go on screen here.
What is going on this week? What is going on? Welcome to this week's episode 166 of the STS Guys. I'm Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
Hey guys, I'm Nate.
And I'm Scott.
And we are the STS Guys, a weekly podcast where we sit around, shoot the shit, and talk about anything geeky, nerdy, and cool. What is going on this week, guys?
So this is going to lead into things, but I'm going to show off something because a friend made this for me. I don't know if I've ever showed it to anybody here, but today I'm enjoying brewskis, and for a reason we'll get into a little bit later. I don't have my traditional whiskey here, but my bottle opener for the day is quite special. It is my custom-made F-bomb.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Bottle opener. So a buddy with a CNC machine was like, you need an F-bomb. So I got an F-bomb.
That's a fitting opener for this week because
yeah,
you guys agree it's been one hell of a week.
Just a sec. I'm sorry.
It's been a week.
Nate, you said it as I'm trying to open my beer. I'm like, oh no!
Oh, my bad.
I can't open the beer and control my mouse at the same time.
I knew it was coming. It's the same thing we do every week.
Well, I thought I had time to open the beer, but Nate dropped that segue.
I let out way too quickly.
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, like to say it's been a week, I think that's a fucking understatement.
I said it's been one hell of a week.
Even that.
But yeah, even that. It probably feels like at least a few weeks for you guys.
Let's just put it this way. I think I lived a real life episode of Oregon Trail. I said the only thing I didn't die of dysentery. So like I said,
I was gonna say, do you have dysentery?
No, I made it to the fort.
Okay,
not yet. But I do have a story about that.
About dysentery?
About dysentery that you got it?
I mean, if you drink the water. Well, all right. So hold on. Preface. If you don't know, right? I'll do it real quick. So Scott, myself, and Jeremy, we all live in Texas, right? The Austin area, Central Texas.
What did you say? Texas?
I said Texas.
Yeehaw! I didn't want to cut off your story. I didn't think you'd actually stop.
It's okay. Hey,
I'm dropping the ball today. I don't have my liquid courage, so
see, you're not drunk enough. Nope. I'm a professional. I know when to stop. So anyway, right? We all live in Texas. Yeehaw! And if you didn't know, there's a really crazy storm that hit Texas like Sunday night, early Monday morning. We all lost power around that time, right? Monday, we woke up to basically no power. Electricity didn't come on for a couple days. The water plant didn't have power, so the water got totally sketch. Water turned off for a little while. We still don't have drinkable water. Right? I don't know how much snow, at least 6 inches. It's crazy snow.
At least 6 inches where we were at.
Yeah, crazy snow. And then like the next night it rained and did like sleet and stuff. So there's a nice me,
I'm really good at judging what exactly 6 inches is. Oh god.
Did you go I don't want to know how you measured that, Scott. That sounds cold.
Oh, all right. I'm done.
All
That's
right. Well,
I have to before the raid. Hopefully they all
hopefully they all heard
they all heard the dick joke
about your manhood. So yeah, I paused my Texas winter storm story, right? Shout out to Geek Together for the Geek Together raid over on Twitch. So thank you guys. If you're not aware, Geek Together records their podcast live on Twitch every Saturday night, an hour before us at 7 p.m. Pacific. So I think we need to do a quick shout out to the chat. And thank you guys, Geek Together. So chat wise, we've got our friend Ed, Butt Wasted, Manny, Gary, Odin Pops. Haven't seen your name in a while. What's up, Odin Pops? Andrew, Noe, Steph, Mrs. Jesse Starr, Sean, El Loco Gaijin 68, the real Ben Feldman. More Manny, more Andrew, more Manny, more Andrew, more Manny, more Andrew. Oh wait, no, here's Christina's there too. Steph, and we were Hockey. What's up, Hockey?
Hey, what's up, Hockey?
What up,
so
everybody?
We were just talking about the Austin weather. Christine and Damien are also in the Austin area, right? So we got Scott confirmed 6 inches of snow right on the head.
Right on the tip.
Right on the tip.
Right up to the tip.
6 inches. Yep, that's what it was.
So anyway, storm, hot water went out, freezing rain on top of that, right? Created a whole bunch of ice. It was ridiculous, cold. I think the first, Sunday was below freezing, didn't really warm up till yesterday, Friday. And then today, finally everything's kind of thawed out. So it was crazy. Mainly the 2+ days of no power. That was fun. What you guys said you had some crazy stuff happen.
So
how was your Texas blackout?
We got up to some shenanigans, but here's the thing with this that kind of highlights. The week before, I have to say, I complained about people buying up a whole bunch of shit.
Yes, you did. Yeah, that's great. We
during the time with the blackout, some of the stuff that those people had bought all up, not being able to drink water, all them, Sunny D packages and shit that people had bought up that I was making fun of them for, those would have come in real fucking handy.
Confirmed.
So what was it?
Like, oh.
Was it as bad as COVID times? I remember right when COVID started, we couldn't get toilet paper.
Wow. Okay, so the best way I can describe it. So imagine when COVID first hit and you went to the cleaning products aisle and it was wiped out and there was maybe 6 things on the shelf. Imagine an entire store with shelves like that.
Crazy.
The entire store.
The entire store.
Frozen foods, cereal aisle.
Knocked
everything.
a lot of the power out, right? So they had to get rid of a lot of the food that was there.
So if you think about it, most of the stores just wiped out their dairy, their freezer section, everything's gone from there. That's gone automatically. But then you go down the aisle with soups and you think oh, it's soup. People aren't going to eat all the soups. Cream of mushroom, gone. People were just eating straight up cream of mushroom at a certain point. They wiped out the entire section. There is not a soup at the local Target that you could buy. A single can, gone. Still none.
Well, and then the roads were all messed up, right? Because they were, like I said, icy and just a mess. So the delivery trucks couldn't get there. So I think that this afternoon it's finally better. I saw on Facebook, but
stuff is starting to stock up.
Yeah, it's been a mess, man.
Stuff's starting to get out. I waited in line for an hour and a half at Costco this morning.
Oof. What'd you get at the Costco?
The all exciting thing of a case of water, and some milk,
Nice.
and I said a couple things of food.
Did they have that big list outside that's we don't have this?
Yeah, and it just grew. It grew throughout the day.
Costco was surprisingly, they said, pretty stocked because the nice
when
thing about
you
Costco,
went,
yeah. So the nice thing about Costco, right, was with the power outages, like I said, everyone's power went out. The only reason if your power didn't go out is if you lived by basically an emergency service,
or lived in a neighborhood full of millionaires.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that too.
So
and they didn't lose power.
So it just so happens our Costco is on the same grid as the fire station that's really right across the street from it.
Yeah, cool.
So their fridge and freezer section, like I said, didn't turn off. So like I said, all their food actually remained good. So Costco, like I said, actually had a good stock today of frozen food and meat. And
they were the first store to open too. I think right when
they were open
and Target, a lot of those stores were still closed.
They opened the day that we got power back.
Yeah, Wednesday.
So Wednesday of everything.
So who wants to go first? We all got some crazy stories. I think we should go in some type of formal order, or
I think that's a good idea. You guys think about that. I'm going to read Manny's comment from the chat real quick. He says, "Pro tip: live by a firehouse, by the fire department." I saw somebody made a meme on one of the Texas groups where it's the new question to ask your realtor, am I on the same power grid as a hospital or the fire department? It's, God forbid this ever happens again, but that's a legit question now.
So in case it goes again, as I was saying, as Jeremy brings up Costco, I will be making a journey tomorrow because they got something in this morning that they have not had for the longest time. And I confirmed they had it when I left because I went there right at closing tonight, and I was I was on the fence. They have full-size
Kit Kat
household
bars.
Yes, full-size Kit Kat bars. They're the house on Halloween that hands out the full-size candy bars. A full-size house generator. Not enough to run my full house, but enough that if this happens again,
Powerful.
which it seems like it's going to, I'll be able to run most of the shit in my house.
Hold on, Scott. This was I heard this is a once in a lifetime storm, right? Manny asked if this was the coldest Texas or the most snow Texas ever gotten. I think so. I think the problem is like all the power stuff, like I don't know, the turbines, and I don't know how Texas electricity works exactly, but the things froze. It was really cold.
It's definitely unprecedented.
Those things froze because they've had several years with freezing temperatures where this has happened, and they went, we could winterize these, but nah.
Yeah, or we could keep the money for ourselves.
Yeah,
what is
exactly.
What is it? ERCOT? Is that who does our weather? I never even heard of ERCOT before, but apparently
at first I thought like Epcot, like I'm like Disney. We're talking about Disneyland.
So let's go through here. Manny brings up: do houses in Texas have solar panels? And if so, did they work in the snow?
No.
So yes, a lot of the houses down here have solar. It's pretty popular. It gets pretty warm. The thing was, at 6 inches of snow stacked up on top of the solar panels, they didn't collect shit. Second of all, to actually run it, you need to also buy battery. And
because the battery is tens of thousands of dollars.
Exactly. Wow. And usually most houses need like 3 to 4 batteries at $10,000 a pop to actually efficiently run.
So the majority of solar panels that are on people's houses, they're
just
hooked
direct.
Up they're actually hooked up direct and then to the power grid. So they actually basically feed the solar power into the power grid and then get it back from them. Just so that way, basically, like, so they'll actually sell their own power so they have a surplus back to the power grid.
So anything that was generated at the time was sent back into the power grid and never was given back to the houses.
No.
And they weren't even generating anything because most of all of them were covered with a layer of snow.
No, because like I said, that is the funny thing, right? So I said about this whole thing is just because I said I spent probably more time on Facebook. I said over the last week, and then I probably have in a long time. Just in regards to like because that was how you got updates, right? Because I said we didn't have power.
Well. But when we didn't have power, we had horrible cell service, so I couldn't even go on Facebook or Twitter to find anything out. But during the
I got real good at rereading the same one because it was all cached, and so I could read the same ones over again. I was like, oh, I guess I'm rereading these comments.
Same. There was an ad that popped up every time because it was like the second thing down. I don't remember exactly what it was for, but it cursed that lady because I hated her face.
So okay, so who wants to go first with their crazy story?
So let's not go into crazy, but like. I just want to know, like,
crazy story,
because I got some good ones too. But before we get into that, let's go through and just kind of say, like, first off, these guys know because I was bitching constantly via text
because text worked.
Text worked.
Thank God.
So the three of us were spotty, but we were contacting each other, being like, "Is your power on? Like, when do you get it? Or whatever." Like, we were bitching the whole time. So I did something I haven't done in many. I'd say at least like 2 years. I sat down and read books.
So did I.
I had nothing else to do.
So did I.
I read books.
I mean, comic books, but I still like it was. It's still like books.
Graphic novels.
Yeah. Like I had recently bought a Spider-Man one with like all the original like first appearances and stuff. So I read that. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah,
that's actual. Yeah,
that's reading like actual.
Is that the Caldecott medal that's on there?
I think so. Newbery Award winner.
It just says national bestseller. Oh. It's like the most generic stamp ever.
So grown up, Scott.
Yeah.
So you were reading a graphic novel, Larry.
Yeah. It's like first appearance of Spider-Man, right? Amazing Fantasy 15, and then it had like the first Lizard, first Sandman. It had like all the early Spider-Man comics. So that's what I read. It was fun.
Nice. It's funny how when you don't have anything, it's like, all right, well, I can read. Like I used to read a lot more, but nowadays it's like I've got too many other distractions before reading becomes an option.
Without power, there's literally nothing to do. And then it gets dark here around 7. So the first night we went to sleep at like 7 because I didn't know what else to do. I'm just like, we're going to sleep.
What am I going to do in a dark house? Like read by candlelight? Like I didn't like.
Well, I said that's if you like. So that's if you have candles. So we've been going through and like purging. I said a ton of stuff from our house. Like we have I said I was the first one here, but I moved here 2 years ago. We still have moving boxes that we haven't unpacked from 2 years that we just threw in the closets, right? Yeah. So we started basically finally unpacking those and getting stuff to either donate or throw away. So we didn't have any candles in the house, but then I remember cleaning out the closet. I'm like, wait a minute. I remember throwing away some Bath and Body Works candles that I went and dug out of the trash and utilized basically as emergency light.
Nice. I didn't even think about it. Like we just went to sleep. My flashlight, like my main silver nice flashlight, is still packed somewhere. So cell phones, right? We got by, but I'm like, I don't even know where my flashlight is. I was just defeated. So that first night, literally 7:00, I'm like, Ian, time for bed. And he went to sleep before I did. He was on board. He's like, yep, it's dark. We're going to sleep.
Like it's dark. So I have no games. I was bored. Just went to bed.
Yeah, Nintendo Switch batteries are dead. We're going to sleep.
You guys read? I ended up actually said nighttime. I said you couldn't get shit done, right? But during the day, right? I was like, well, I think it was Saturday. I said there was all of a sudden. I figured out Saturday, right? That Marvel cards from the 90s are hot again. Yeah, and I'm like, I know I have an entire set of Series 1 Marvel cards someplace. These cards are going, like I said, if they're PSA, like PSA 10, they're going for like $2,000, $3,000 a piece. It's ridiculous.
They're profit.
I don't have Series 1. Or I have a couple Series 1, but I found mine today. I mostly have like the next series, but I found a stack. So I'm like, I'm sitting on gold.
It's crazy how the trading cards of like different genres have becoming increasingly popular. I think I first started seeing it with like, just sports card. They started getting like more and more popular. And then I started seeing all these people selling Pokemon cards for crazy amounts. Yeah. So now it's spreading into the Marvel cards. So it's like it keeps on going into these different, collecting cards. Like, I don't know what's going to be next, but if you have something, you might want to hold on to it.
Yeah, I watched a YouTube video about the Marvel cards just because I was curious, and they were talking about the other stuff. Like there's G.I. Joe cards that are really popular right now too. I found I actually had some of these, which is cool. So shout out to that video that I don't know who it was, but 1985 Topps WWF cards has like a Hulk Hogan rookie card that's worth quite a bit of money. I had a nice stack of those 85 wrestling cards, so I had found 4 Hulk Hogan rookie cards. Whoa. I was pretty stoked. That's like they're like about $100 each, depending on how much they're actually selling for, ungraded. So, what else was there? Like, I don't remember. Like the Marvel cards, Garbage Pail Kids, I think are still a little bit popular. Like,
so well. Then also too, like I said, it's hilarious with your cards if you find some. So like, let's just put it this way: I found so many cards that are like pristine mint condition. I actually signed up for a PSA membership, just so I could basically not have to have like $50 grade per card. So now basically it's instead of $50 per card, it's $12 per card. And so I have a stack of cards that I actually sent to PSA. I was dropping them off today, where I'm basically sending them off to PSA so they can get graded so I can just flip them all. And then anything I didn't send to PSA, it's all listed on eBay right now. So I have get this. I have $6,000 worth of cards on eBay right now, just individual cards listed.
For the Marvel, right? For the early 90s Marvel cards.
Marvel cards.
That I swear 6 months ago nobody cared about, and they were basically trash.
It's one of those things like if you have them and you're willing to let them go, right now is the time to ride that wave.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I literally posted them. I started posting them yesterday when we had power and internet and everything was stable.
Yeah.
I've already sold like raw cards. I've already sold like 10 raw cards, and like I said, I literally have on them like said $15 for best offer. I'm like, literally. Anything over $1
take it.
That's gold, but they're snapping up full price, and so I'm like, okay, here you go.
Nice.
And then, like I said, I have my PSA pile that I'm we're just waiting to get back from PSA.
I remember like a couple years ago. It had to be a couple years ago. I remember looking at that Stan Lee card because there's a Stan Lee card in that set.
Yes,
like a drawing of him, and it was like I don't know, it was like $5 or something. And I'm like, I don't really want to spend $5 on a card. I don't need it. It's like $75 to $100 now.
Yeah,
like
it's insane how quick it goes up.
It's crazy. When we were kids, it was so easy to get all this stuff, and then you wish you could like scream at yourself, like just pick up all the boxes of cards, especially Series 1.
Keep them. Don't throw them away like you did.
Never throw those away.
I know I tossed a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I used these aren't worth anything. If I can get rid of this shit.
I didn't have many. Like literally, somebody sent me these in the mail like a couple years ago because they didn't want them anymore because they were garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, nobody cared about what do I got? a Venom card.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted Venom. It was like, here, take these. I don't want them. You like Marvel, right? I'm like, yes, I like the movies. Have some cards.
Then
Just
also
send those
too,
my way, Larry. I'll take
yeah,
them.
also too, the most printed Marvel comic ever, I said, which is X-Force #1.
Oh, yeah.
We lost Jeremy.
Oh, Jeremy froze. So he's saying X-Force #1. There's a copy that comes with a card in it, right, Jeremy?
Yeah. So like I said, there's a copy that comes with a card in it. And like I said, it's the very first card that actually is it's a Deadpool card. These comic books were in the quarter bin maybe 3-4 months ago. I said, these polybag comics now are selling between $40 and $50 a piece with just the polybags. And if you have the ones that have the Deadpool in it, I said they're selling for like $500 plus. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
That's
nuts,
crazy.
man.
So that's how I spent my my time.
It's just weird, you know.
To figure out what I'm going to sell once I get power back.
Since you've seen, like, it seems like since COVID has happened, there's been this like wave of collectibles that are selling for higher prices now than they were like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just because people are at home and they're willing to spend this money, or what it is that's making all this happen, but it's crazy.
It's a weird mix of nostalgia and too much time on your hands.
So it's that. It's
Probably.
shit is so bad right now. People are trying to find that escape back to their childhood where things were great and there was no responsibility.
Well, and
Especially if you live in Texas.
well, it's that, and then on top of it, like I said, because like I said, just the way, like I said, just like stimulus checks, right? The way that they do
Tax
stimulus
returns.
checks is like I said, it's just like, oh hey, if you're under basically this income threshold, guess what? Here you go. Here's a stimulus check. But the problem is, like I said, some people actually weren't impacted. They're like, all of a sudden, these people that weren't like impacted or like financially impacted by COVID, they're like, hey, guess what? I have an extra like $1,400 now. I'm like, this is
Right.
great.
Well,
And like, let me buy something stupid with it.
yeah, that plus, right? Everybody's working from home, so you're spending less money on gas, right? You're not driving as much. No downtown parking fees. So yeah, it's like, right, you got a little bit extra money, so maybe you're spending on something. I want to say stupid, but like clearly we buy things we don't need, right? But
All the time.
you're spending it on maybe like Nate said, like getting back a piece of your childhood. Or Manny brings up a good point. Maybe you hit the jackpot with that GameStop stock. So you're just going in, or Dogecoin, right? It's not quite to the moon, but maybe you're cashing in on your like 7-cent Dogecoin.
Maybe you have a pinball machine that's mining cryptocurrency for you.
So you can buy all the Deadpool cards.
Look
at it go.
My power back, it's still going.
Yeah.
I was gonna say during the downtime, like it's not working for you.
That cost you, man.
It's got to make up for it now.
So yeah. All right.
No, that's awesome.
So let's get into the stories of some of the shit here, because there's some good stuff that I think we need to talk about that occurred. I guess let me just go, Jeremy. Then I'll have you go, and then Larry, if you have any crazy stories. I don't know how much you were going around here.
Go for it. I didn't leave the house. I have a Honda Civic. Like, I'm not driving onto ice in my Civic. You guys have trucks.
Part of some of my crazy story is some of the stuff. So Monday we had power. We had an hour in like the afternoon, and then an hour like towards the evening, right? About 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock at night, right?
Yeah.
We had power for like an hour.
Just enough to warm up the house a little.
No, mine wasn't even long enough. So my power was, when it was on for that hour, it would cut out every 7 minutes.
Well, I was
which would
gonna say, I'm
reset
like,
my thermos.
It's not technically. I wouldn't technically count it as an hour of power if it literally like cuts off like every
Hour,
2
hour.
minutes.
Oh, mine was on consistently. Like, I'm not bragging, but mine was on
like,
consistently.
shutting off like literally every like I get like 3 minutes on my Wi-Fi would just barely reconnect, and I'm like, I'm like, yes, and then they're like, pew, and then they're like, shut off. I'm like, God damn it!
I could hear the air, like my furnace turn on, start blowing air, and then I would hear my alarm system go boom, because it made this like noise every time the power cut out, like a warning bell.
Our heat took a good 5 minutes to actually kick on.
Yeah. So, and mine would cut out I timed it. It was on a 7-minute cycle.
Okay.
So it'd go 7 minutes and then shut off.
No, we had a solid 90 minutes, and we also have a space heater. So I threw on the space heater, and it got pretty toasty pretty fast. It was nice.
You lucky son
totally
of a bitch.
Not bragging.
So like Jeremy, our house got down into
brag.
like the 40s and low 30s by the end of this. But so the first day, power kept coming on and coming off. And at a certain point, it never came on Tuesday. So we said, screw this.
Yeah. I
got a truck.
Yeah.
It's a 4x4. Let's just go drive. Let's see if we can see if somewhere has power. Like how far, like
a hotel or something? Because I know people were doing that.
Trying to get just anywhere. Like, can we charge the phones? Can we is there any restaurants that are open farther away? Like certain parts of town, maybe they didn't get impacted. We could have something to do, right?
Because that no internet, no cell service, we didn't know that it was like a Dallas thing, and Houston, all of Texas got covered.
Exactly.
Monday, Tuesday, we had no idea.
No idea. So we're trying to figure it out. So we get in the car, pop it in 4-wheel drive, go out and see. And I saw so many car accidents and just people just abandoning vehicles. Like, I cannot tell you how many abandoned cars on the side of the road I saw. People in their Civic driving down the road and got stuck in the 6 inches of snow or went off the road a little bit and fell into a ditch. And their car you're not backing you're done at that point. You're stuck.
Tow truck, right? Get winched out or whatever.
Yeah, but no tow trucks coming to you in that weather, right? So, the tow truck operator doesn't have power to take your phone call. So, there was just cars overturned. There's so many wrecked cars. I think as I was driving, I got maybe 3 miles fast because it was taking forever. Driving because no lights were on. So every intersection was a 4-way stop. There was all 2-lane roads became a 1-lane road because everyone was driving in the ruts of the person in front of them, right? So there was just, lanes didn't exist.
Yeah.
So it just there was just lines up of cars. There was one that I swear the line was 6 miles long going in the other direction. So it's fuck it, we're going back into the country bumpkin area that we live in because there's nothing we're not getting anywhere. I'll run out of gas before I get anywhere that's actually useful. So we were just driving around with all these cars, and I saw so many, what I'm going to call the small peepee men, right? Driving their extra large vehicles, right? That are lifted trucks and these big, huge tires. And then to look at them and be like, oh, those guys are, 4x2s. They're 2-wheel drive cars.
Yeah.
So all of them were jackknifed on all these hills going up, stuck. And me and my little Tacomas just down the road in 4x4. I got so many dirty looks from guys in these big manly trucks that got jackknifed. It made me laugh.
Nice.
But yeah, I thought of you, Larry. You ain't going anywhere, dude.
I went out yesterday, so Friday, and even then I hesitated because Arizona kid. I've never driven in snow. I've never driven in ice. I've never seen this much snow in my entire life. Right. I was a little scared, but it was 40 degrees, so it was fine. But yeah, dude, there's no way I was going anywhere.
Yeah. So, but I had the greatest sight I have seen, and I didn't think it was too cold, so I don't know exactly how this occurred. But in my neighborhood, there's a main thoroughfare. In the middle of that road, just chilling in walking position was a frozen fucking rat.
Aww.
Just in the middle of the road. Just
I was wondering where this was going.
It was crossing the street and got too cold halfway through. Yeah. See, my wife is even bringing it up. She's confirming the story. She says, "But what about the rat in the middle of the road?" Yeah.
That's
so we're
crazy.
driving, and it was after the night where it dropped to 9 degrees, right? So we're out there, and there's this rat just
like a ratsicle.
Like a ratsicle, but not it died and fell over. It was standing up, frozen until a car ran it over later in the afternoon. Then it became a flat one. But
poor rat.
Yeah. So it's been good.
That's fun.
That's fun.
Rat versus ice.
Yeah. Don't see that in Arizona.
No, never. Even growing up, in a place where it gets, winter often, I had never seen an animal frozen in the middle of the road like that. So I don't know exactly how it ended up there, or I want to know what events transpired for it to get there and die in that position.
I don't think anybody's accustomed to seeing a frozen rat just in the road like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Like, but see, this like growing up where there's rats and rabbits,
Other
and skunks
wildlife,
and other
right?
wildlife.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them frozen, like when you go out like out in the woods, like hunting or whatever, and you see one that's like like had like maybe died and then frozen. But I've never seen one like frozen in motion like that. It was like, especially when it wasn't like below 0 temperatures. You know, like I was like, that's really weird. Like I don't know what transpired to get it there, but it was I cracked up.
It was an interesting sight.
So the last story I have is the thing is, it's more of just this feeling that I have to just describe to everybody because this is weird. So Wednesday, power in our neighborhood came back on, but it came back on late. It was like
super late,
5 or 6 p.m. that power came back on. So the first thing we did is we beelined it to try to find any place that was open. You know, like, is there anywhere that we can do like shopping or whatever? Try to get some stuff. Costco was open. We went there, got a couple of things that we could. Obviously, like I said, we said Costco was back open. So we went back in there. And then we decided, like, let's see if there's anywhere open to get some food. We've been literally cooking off of the only thing is my gas stove, right? I could light that with like a cigarette lighter to heat.
I learned that you could light that. Like, so did that for the first time.
So I did that a lot, and I was like, I don't want a fucking stove cook. Like, goddamn, like at a certain point, just cook chicken nuggets on the stove because that's the only way. I was like, how am I going to cook these frozen chicken nuggets that are now thawing? Because my fridge has been off for 2 days, so I had I cooked them on the stove. So I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So we went to a Whataburger because they had the lights on. And then people just, it was like a moss to a flame of cars driving to this Whataburger. And I was like, oh my God, Whataburger's open. Fuck yeah. So I went in there, got in the line, eventually got to the little like.
What a burger.
Thank you, Larry. Never actually used that for a reference to Whataburger. I wasn't actually ready.
And I just wanted to cut you off.
Did you, wait, hold on. Did you get a dark pepper shake?
No. Here, let's go continue with the story.
Okay.
So, couple cars go in front, right? And it looks like they order. They talk and then they drive forward. So I'm like, all right, cool. Guy in front of me gets there. No one's talking to him anymore. And then I see like employees come out with trash bags out of the thing. They went in there to clean out all the food that had went bad.
Oh, geez.
And so the guys are like, hey, we're not open. It's like he's like yelling it to everybody. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. There's like 40 cars at this point.
Yeah, I read about
trying
that.
to get to whatever.
I didn't know you were in that line, but yeah, like I did read about that. People were waiting like 45 minutes, and it wasn't even open.
And it was not open.
Oof.
It took that long for them to realize you guys were out there waiting for food.
So luckily, it only took me a few minutes. Like I waited there. It was like 5 minutes.
Oh no, I mean like
something.
the employees should have been like, "Hey,
well, like
no,
but there's like 2 of them. They went in to go clean some shit out, probably.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like
that's funny.
It was quite funny. So I was like, "Fuck this shit! God damn it!" Like whatever. So I was driving back home from there, and there's this little hole in the wall pizza place. For anybody in this area, Patty's Pizza came in choice. Open sign. Saw that fucking neon sign. And I was in the far lane too. And I was like, that says open. I was like,
slam on the brakes, slide over.
Slide. Yeah, power slide in the
Tokyo
fucking,
drifting.
Power slide on the fucking ice. Right? Because that's the point. The roads were mostly ice. Let's just say that, like at that point. So slid in, went in there, went in. I was like, tell me I can order a pizza. And he's like, yeah, we don't have wings, but you can have pizza. So the thing about Patty's Pizza is okay at best. Okay, like let's just put it this way. I mean, we're not going to get a sponsorship deal. We've had them a couple times. They're great. They're like Peter Piper pizza quality.
One step above CC's.
Yeah, one step
you
above
didn't just
CC's.
Disgrace Peter Piper.
I know. I do love Peter Piper, so I know you're wrong.
Peter Piper is fun to go to, but their pizza's not delicious.
It's amazing. No, it's the best.
It is not.
Their pizza buffet. I used to go to that all the time.
Yes,
Larry's
we used to go to the
about to
pizza
fight
buffet
you,
all day. We used to go to the pizza buffet a lot, but it wasn't because the pizza was quality. It was because for like $3 you could get unlimited pizza. Anyways, I digress. So we go in there. I get this pizza, and I'm sitting there eating the sad pizza, and it was the best fucking pizza I've ever had in my life.
This is the best thing
This
ever.
is the best thing ever. This is the first hot meal I've had in 3 days.
At that point, it just tastes good to have it.
Yeah, dude, it was one of those things. Like I was like, this pizza any other day of the week, any other day of the year would not have been good.
That is the one thing that I missed. I didn't have any frozen pizza.
Yeah.
So I haven't had pizza in like a week, which is probably a record.
Yeah, it was
But
quite interesting. But I also had to wait an hour because there was this many people
that's not
ordering
bad.
the pizza. I swear to God, they went through about $2,000 worth of like sales
Nice.
in the
Good for
span of
them.
the hour that I was sitting in there, just of people coming in buying pizzas because they were the only pizza place anywhere in the area that was open.
Scott asked how long power had been out. What day was that? Tuesday? So day number 2?
So that was Wednesday. So that was when power came back on. So that's been 3.5, 4-ish days. At that point with no power being on. So then it's like whoever it was, they came in, they're like, we're a small, mom and pop pizza shop. We're making pizza as soon as power came back on.
It's impressive.
Smart.
Good for them though, man.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good.
I got some stories. I also have
No internet.
Oh, Jeremy's frozen like the Texas tundra.
Yeah.
so I have some pictures of some different things. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick. So
Let's hope you can with your freezy internet.
I
Yeah,
don't know why it's so freezy.
because it's cold outside.
Because Texas is freezing.
Yeah, it's the theme of the week.
So set the stage. So Monday wasn't bad. Tuesday, like I said, because I said the entire first floor of my house is all basically, like I said, like wood plank flooring, which I learned is not the thing to have in the winter when you don't have heat.
Yeah, it does not retain warmth very well.
No. So what ended up happening, I said on Tuesday, I said this was like midday too. The temperature inside my house dropped to 35 degrees. Like,
Whoa.
It was.
That's cold, man. That's like hypothermia cold.
That's really cold.
By Wednesday, my house was 42, so it was not much different from Jeremy's.
Yeah, 35 degrees in the house. So which is supposed to be, which is insulated and everything and everything
It's
else.
supposed to be.
Yeah. Like I said, outside, I think it was like 9 degrees or something like that. Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, this is a first. I'm like, look, you can see my breath
dude.
inside the house.
Wow.
Wow. We were not that
That is
cold.
cold, man.
I did not get that cold.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
that is absolutely
it
insane.
was
Wow.
freezing in my
That is
house.
awful. I mean, that's like dangerous when it gets that cold.
It was crazy. Well, and this is the thing, right? So that's when the water stopped working too, and so I'm like, Jesus, I'm like, I better not have like busted frozen pipes. I'm like, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed if that happens. I'm like, come on. I'm like, don't let that happen. Don't let that happen. Don't let that happen. So I've been like waiting in fear for the last like 3 or 4 days, like just hoping my pipes are okay, just because it got so cold inside my house. I was sure that I was going to have something that was going to go wrong. But then
to go before you go to just kind of like the guy that lives across the street from me who has a water softener, who forgot to turn the water off to the pipe that goes outside, and it exploded. He doesn't have water right now.
Oh,
Jeez.
yeah, that's it's crazy. Yeah. So my house, like inside, got incredibly cold. So I've learned 2 different things. One, I will always have a gas stove to be able to cook on. That was a lifesaver.
Yeah.
So gas stove was a lifesaver.
100%.
You can boil water.
Number 2.
Yeah.
My next house, like I said, is automatically going to have a fireplace in it that I can manually light. Like,
So here's the weird thing I found out. Do you want to know something interesting? So Jeremy, I have an electric starter. It's not even an electric starter, really. Like, so the way my gas fireplace works is weird. So it has a always on pilot, right? And then I have a switch that actually turns on the gas valve. What I never realized, or what I didn't know, is the small amount of heat or that flame coming off that pilot also provides a small enough amount of energy that if I flipping that switch, even with the power out, still has enough energy to turn the valve open.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, because I didn't think about it with the power going out on Monday to go flip my stove on before the power went out. So I was like, oh my God, let's hope this works. And I flipped the switch and poof, fire came. I was like, oh my God, yes.
Nice.
That's awesome.
How'd you get so cold then?
Because it's a gas fireplace that doesn't have a blower, right? It's just like a little gas fireplace or whatever. So, and that was the only source of heat, is one little fireplace.
Yeah.
For my entire house was my gas fireplace. But I do recommend it because we huddled next to that goddamn thing.
That is like the next house automatically going to have that.
So you huddled next to it just like Senator Ted Cruz and his family before they decided to bail and go to Cancun?
Yes.
At the Ritz-Carlton?
Were you sitting around the fireplace wishing you could go to Cancun?
You know what?
Okay.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'll say this. I was wishing I could at least make it to El Paso even. I would have taken El Paso.
Power.
How about this? I wish I was wishing I had a fireplace that I could sit by that I could then wish like that I was in Cancun.
Same.
Well, I mean, his daughters asked him to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you
You
can't
gotta
blame
keep
the
your
guy.
kids happy, man, right?
Also,
like it's
by the
all
way,
for the kids.
Here's the thing is, we normally don't get political, but this, I guess because this is just a piece of shit, right? We're just shaming here. So I just want to highlight this. Regardless whether you like him or not, he did a piece of shit thing. A couple of things I noticed on that thing. That picture of him thing, that fucking bag is for... Let's start with this. That was too big to be a fucking carry-on, first of all. So fuck you for that, dude. That was one of those ones where you get on the plane, you're like, oops, it doesn't fit. Can you put that in the little closet thingy in the front? Like, fuck you, dude.
Scott not only doesn't agree, but he analyzed it to the point where he's like, okay, your story doesn't add up here.
Does the story add up? And that thing, therefore, is also too big to be the claim of, well, it just flew down and it was going to fly right back. What did you have that big of a fucking bag then, you piece of shit?
Oh, that was my daughter's bag.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So then, like, right. So Ed asked questions like, so I have a generator. So I bought a generator that said last year when COVID first hit, just because I was actually trying to be prepared when COVID first hit. Because I was thinking, hey, the summer's going to be here. No one's thinking about this now because COVID hit, like in March, right? And so I'm like, what if so there's a strain on the electrical grid in the summer since everyone's at home, because of COVID and lockdowns and stuff like that, right? So I'm like, so I bought a generator last March. I said in preparation for the summer. I'm like, and then I never needed it. So I totally forgot. I said that I had this generator. I said, and then Tuesday I go out in the garage, and I'm like, okay, great. I have this generator. So I'm like, okay, let me try to go out and venture out to see if I can get some gas. The only size gas can I have for some reason is the one I have for the lawn equipment, which is a little 1 gallon gas can.
Nice.
Smallest thing.
You could also not find a gas can to an additional gas can to buy any place, like I said, that was open. So I literally had 1 gallon gas that we drove to. So I'm like, okay, hey, guess what? You know what? I have the truck. I'll go back Wednesday and get a gallon of gas, and then I can keep the little space heater running, and then we can try to basically warm up that way. That was until basically we got that rain on Wednesday, and then let's just hell literally froze over when my truck froze shut.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh my, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So
literally, the truck was frozen shut. I could not chip the ice off to open the doors.
That's crazy.
It was thick, man. I didn't try to open my car, but you could just tell by the ground, right in front of my door it was at least an inch of ice. It was crazy. I'm not surprised.
So here's the saddest thing is when I went out there. So I was able to get that day. My truck was like that, but I was able to get in. Then I noticed something in my truck. And this is how I know I'm a child, right? Just in general. I noticed that there was a thin layer of water between the actual glass of my the side window and the ice that was that solid sheet. So when I was using the car, right, to charge my phone, I thought, can I do this? is this possible? I rolled down my driver's side window. So there was just that sheet of ice. And then like a child, I punched through it. Like,
all right, that's awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
I got tons of ice. It all fell inside the car.
I did have fun breaking off the pieces of ice that were right by the porch in the backyard and like
Icicles?
sliding them. Yeah, no, like I literally broke it on top of the snow, so I got big pieces, and then I slide it across the ice on the other end like a hockey puck.
So you're like
that was fun.
Yeah,
Exactly. Like right, Arizona kid. I don't do these things, but that was a fun new hobby I learned this week.
Yeah,
but the icicles.
Yeah,
Jeremy had some gnarly icicles.
Yes. Oh, dude,
I know we did too. The house next to ours was like 4 feet, like because they didn't bother to knock it off for some reason because those people are idiots. But yeah, there's some crazy icicles too. Never seen that.
Ed is coming up here to saying that we're amateurs.
Yes, I am. Yes,
I grew up even farther north than Ohio, but it's been forever since I've been in the cold, and I've never been in the cold in a place that also gets routinely over 105 degrees for the summer, right? You shouldn't have both of these things. You should get one or the other. Like, and I chose the other. I want the hot summer and a good, nice winter. That's what I chose. That's what I thought. For me, that's good. Yeah. Fuck you for giving me both.
Being in Arizona, and you guys are from Arizona, this is not something we're used to. So it's like totally out of our element.
Multiple times this week, I've completely regretted this move to Texas just because of the weather. It's like, man, why did I do this again? Like I wanted a winter, right? Don't get me wrong. Like the snow, especially when it snowed like a month ago and it was just a little bit, that was awesome. But like I am so over winter weather. It's not even funny.
The first day with the snow and the power was out, I was like, power's going to be out for like a day. Maybe a couple hours.
Yeah, an hour. Yeah, like
we'll get it back by later tonight. Like we'll be okay. So I was like, sent my daughter out, like go play in the snow, and they made fucking snow forts and all that stuff. By day 3, we're like,
this is dumb.
Like, I can tell you, you can only play so many Legos and Barbies with a 7-year-old locked in that before shit goes wrong.
Scott, you about ready to lose it?
Yeah, dude, I was ready to go. Like there was about to be a quarantine / power outage murder at the house if my wife had her way.
There's Jeremy's icicle.
Yeah, so here's the sword that was going to kill the Night King.
Dude, I never took a photo of it. I should have had one. So imagine one that long, but about 4 feet across. Like from my garage, I have that one long little like pathway to get out. That whole thing was almost one sheet of icicle. It was absolutely insane. I had so much fun breaking those things off my roof.
Yeah, me too.
Well, so speaking of that, then, right? So like over the last couple of days,
who's messing with their mic?
Not messing with your mic.
I'm trying to. Sorry. Trying to like get it back. All the like has the rubber bands that connect it.
Yeah.
All I hear is
sorry.
So frozen rat running on his microphone getting its revenge.
Over the last couple of days, it's been an interesting kind of it's been interesting just because I said since the ice has started to melt off the roofs, all of a sudden you just hear these crashes of like just icicles and ice like just falling off your roof, and then some of them are like huge ass sheets that's like super loud and like scares the shit out of you.
Yeah, and the dogs.
Because here's the thing is, it's at the same time where I'm expecting at any given moment one of the pipes in my house to burst. So every time I'd hear one of the icicles come crashing down or one of the sheets or anything come off, I'd be like, "Fuck, there it is. That's my house. That's the pipe. It burst, and we're gonna fucking die."
Same. It's crazy.
That's crazy. Well, I'm glad you guys are doing well now. I know you still don't have clean water to drink, but at least you have consistent power, it sounds like.
Still boiling tap water.
And they sent a message yesterday and said expected to last for another week. So we might not have water back to normal until next weekend. It's a minor inconvenience, but at least we got power.
So do you guys know why there's
Andrew had a bite, so our hearts go out, man. If you guys need anything, let us know.
Yeah,
because Toy Rewind, they're in Texas too, right? But it's rough all over. Were
Do
you
you guys
saying
know why is the water like that? Like why does it
because
not-
the treatment plant?
Water treatment.
Water treatment
Oh,
plants
that's right.
all lost.
Yeah.
Like, because here's the thing: is hospitals and fire stations got it
Yeah.
prioritized with power. What didn't get prioritized with power is apparently water treatment plants. But the problem is when they go out, when they go out, the water mains start to freeze too. So they're not treating any of the water. Then all of a sudden there's breaks in the pipes. So that's bringing all these
like I said,
contaminants in.
it's all these situations,
Well-
right? Like I said, where like I said, no one no one thinks like the worst case scenario is going to happen to them. So like I said, the best kind of like comparison point I can think of is remember like I said like in 2016 in Arizona when we had all that rain and basically like it flooded the entire freeway.
Yes.
like
yes.
said up to the top of the freeway, like
yes.
like 15
Every
feet of water.
freeway.
Yeah, every freeway is like
For people who don't know, in Arizona they are sunken.
yeah, the freeways
Right,
are sunken.
they are lower elevation than the rest of the city in most instances.
Yeah, so we're like, so they like, hey, look, we're gonna buy, you know, the shitty pumps because guess what? We don't get that much rain. It's the desert, so we'll buy the shitty pumps and then
And pocket the rest of the money because we're politicians.
And we'll just rely on storm drains.
yeah
Sounds
because
like that was kind of-
because it doesn't rain. So
Sounds like
and
it's
then,
like a-
and then it's like the same thing here, right? It's like hey, you know what? We don't need to winterize because it doesn't get that cold. But then you have like these freak things happen, and then
And it just cascaded.
and it just
Right? Like, because when this loses power, then this goes out, and then you lose water pressure here. And when you lose water pressure, your pipes can freeze, like in the residentials. And when the water pressure comes back, your pipes explode. And now you have flooded houses and people without stuff.
Yeah, you gotta
I
have
did-
like those stopgaps in place, which it sounds like they didn't want to spend the extra money to do that because it's like how often is that actually going to happen? But when it does happen, it makes it so much worse.
I
And
did
so-
have one casualty. You know, rest in
Uh-oh.
peace.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
My redneck hot tub. It's no more.
Oh no!
Did you
Gone
not
too
that.
soon.
Did you not drain it?
I didn't drain it because I said I didn't know if I was going to need the water after the water shut off. So I'm like, you know what? I'm at least I can have like I said that water to like flush toilets and stuff like that. It's chlorinated, so but I can throw it on toilet stuff like manually flush toilets. But yeah, the pump froze and exploded, and yeah, it's done.
Oh, because it has a constant cycle pump, right?
Yes.
So the water's in the pipes through
Yep.
the pump.
Ooh,
Oh,
that
no.
sucks.
Oh
That
no!
hot tub is no more.
Oh man,
Sorry to hear that.
gone too soon.
I know. I said
Hi, Coleman.
it had so many, I said it had so many other, beer hot tub sits in it, but it'll never see them.
Gone too soon.
Gone too soon.
That's awful. That's the worst tragedy of them all. Well,
Here you
that
go.
was
I can't really see it here. Pour some out for the homie.
Okay, there you go.
yeah, there you go. Just put it right on the mic.
No, you need that. You don't have water.
Bzz.
Dude, I cannot tell you. So I couldn't find bottled water anywhere. So I just stocked up on Diet Coke and Diet Dr. Pepper. Like, fucking, we're drinking soda for the rest of the time, boys.
Like so, because we didn't have any, so we didn't have like any beverages in the house. Like when this whole thing like hit, so we had like I said a case of water and a thing of vitamin water, and then all that cheer wine that my sister-in-law had brought us from Georgia. And so like when like things started to thaw out, I had a Dr. Pepper, and it was the most wonderful thing ever.
Yeah. I went to the McDonald's today to get Pokemon cards because priorities, and because the water's all messed up, right? They don't have any fountain drinks. They did let you get chocolate milk with your Big Mac meal, so that was fun. But I stopped at the 7-Eleven that was right next door, and they didn't have any Dr. Pepper. I had to settle for a cherry Coke. It was okay. Oh, and shout out to my wife because we have 2 cases of water that she bought like in November.
Nice.
Yeah, see, I have leftover from Costco, so I usually try to keep one on hand. But we're running out on that one. We only have a couple left. But since we couldn't buy it, I just went soda because they have the 35
Gatorade.
pack of cans, right?
We had some Gatorade. Surprisingly, the 7-Eleven in Hutto had a lot of Gatorade and stuff too, but the soda selection was super weak. They had like Big Red. They had a lot of Big Red.
'Cause even though no one like
Who wants Big Red?
Nobody. I'd rather die.
Yeah, no.
Occasionally, I'm like, you know what I want? I want some bubblegum flavored soda.
I never ever crave it.
Soda,
No.
but let's call it's bubblegum.
No, so it is both, but the only Big Red soda that is, like I said, isn't even Big Red. It's the Barks Red Cream Soda from Oregano's in Arizona. That is, like I said, if you're gonna have a red cream soda,
That's
that
the
was
one.
the one to have.
So
I don't think I've ever had that. Yeah.
Super question, but are you able to order things online and have it delivered or mail services? Yeah, no, like we had shipments, like no big vehicles, like mail cars, FedEx trucks, Amazon trucks. They couldn't drive. Like it was at certain points we had
Ice that was like an inch and a half, 2 inches thick in some places.
of just
So,
ice.
No DoorDash, no Uber Eats. The shipped order that I placed on, I think it was Sunday. I still haven't got it. It was pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and now it's supposed to be here tomorrow. So we'll see what I get from my HEB shipped order. It doesn't look good, man. But DoorDash is back. I did see DoorDash is back, so that's a plus.
DoorDash is back.
Although double check, because DoorDash, yes, like not yesterday, but like Thursday, like we had power and everything, showed a bunch of stores that were like, hey, these guys are still open for DoorDash.
Yeah.
But
did you get faked out? Because I got faked out.
We got faked out by quite a few things. So
there were like two things showing up, like Burger King and Wendy's. So I'm like, Ian, what do you want? Burger King or Wendy's? And he's like, Burger King. So we ordered it, and then like 20 minutes later, they still hadn't accepted, and then it canceled, and my heart broke.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they forgot to turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the worst robbery. It's like, why would you do that to me?
So Nate, I know you had some stuff you wanted to go over.
Oh yeah,
it was a mess thing. I realize it's been.
We'll save that for next week.
We'll save that for next week.
Yeah, that's all good.
At this point, we all lived. We can't drink water, but I have beer, I have whiskey, and a bunch of soda. So
that sounds like a country song.
I got beer.
I got my whiskey.
In Texas.
So in Texas, where there ain't no water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The state writes itself.
So we'll be fine. We'll get through this week.
We're good. The hard part's over. It now we're just we got to be a little bit more patient till grocery stores get back to normal and the water gets back to normal, so you can drink it if you want to drink it. You're not drinking poo water.
Yeah,
we should have really closed this out with "We're gonna get through this."
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Gonna get through this.
Moral of the story: we're good. And ERCOT sucks.
Yeah, and Texas power people. There's a reason. There's a reason why everywhere else electricity is a utility and not a privatized thing. I wonder why. So, Larry, do your thing.
Oh, sure. I think you're talking about a quick shout out to our friends who have podcasts, our friends who have podcasts like Talkin' Pops, who are recording their 250th episode next week, which is an amazing milestone. So shout out to Mike and Josh. You should also check out Pop Collectors Alliance, the Four Dorksmen Geek Together, Secondary Heroes, the Average Nerd Podcast, Nerdy Curious, Movie Retakes with our friend Sully, a couple awesome Texas podcasts, Toy Rewind Podcast, and 3 beers and a mic. And again, like I thought my excuse last week was good because it was starting to get cold. But this week we were literally frozen and stuck inside of our house.
He never did bring me the movies. But if you would
I didn't bring the movie.
If you would have, I would have.
You couldn't even watch it.
So
couldn't even watch the Blu-ray that our friend Ed sent us for the jerk. And if you can't tell by now, I'm talking about the Totally Rad Movie Podcast. It's not dead yet.
I'm still alive. Yeah, it's the first rat in the middle of the yard in the road. If it thaws, it might come back out. Yeah, no, we will get it going. We will get back on a schedule with that.
I have an announcement too that you guys don't even know. Starting March 12th, it is going to be Pod VCon. It's a virtual podcast con, and we're going to be a part of it.
Oh,
it's going to be live on Facebook. What?
Oh, I was just got so excited because we also have next week. We have retro or
cons. We have cons.
Yeah, Retromania. Yeah, so we're going to be part of this virtual podcast con, and the great part is we don't have to do anything about it. They asked us to choose one of our episodes from the archives to play, so I gave them the link to the classic first episode of 2021 with surprise special guest Goat versus Fish.
Oh yes!
I'm like,
Yes.
what better thing for somebody else to play on their Facebook page besides us talking with Goat versus Fish, singing songs? So hopefully some random person scrolls past it and like, what the hell is this?
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm
so
so excited.
hopefully we'll blow somebody's mind. I'll post up the links and stuff as that gets closer. But PodVCon, it's a thing.
The best.
No, it's a thing.
It's the thing.
No fence sitters allowed.
No fence sitters.
Yeah, I just wanted to do my part to share the knowledge and love of Goat versus Fish. If you like Goat versus Fish, you should check out ShumiStore.com and buy yourself some Funko Pops, because that's a segue. ShumiStore.com, get that mint box guarantee. Enter code STS Guys, you can save 10%. And speaking of the best, it's Animated Apparel Company, baby. Go to animatedapparelcompany.com. Enter code STS Guys, you're going to save 10%, and you're going to get free shipping. Animated Apparel Company. It's the best.
The best.
It's the best.
Oh, and I forgot to say, you should check us out on Instagram at STS Guys. We're on Twitter. Try that again. Should check us out on Instagram at STS Guys. We're on Twitter at STS Guys. And I'm Larry from the STS Guys.
Shilling like a villain.
Show him like a villain.
Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding.
That's never gonna get old.
I love it.
Ding,
No.
ding, ding, ding,
I
ding.
Love it. Love it. I like
I
that.
think that is Vanilla Ice describing how his rhythm is different from Under Pressure from Queens. Because they're not
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
All right. If you're watching on Twitch, we're going to rate our friend Goat versus Fish.
Yeah. So for episode 166 of the STS Guys that are now thought out, I am Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
I've been Nate.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the STS Guys. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
This is Fish.
Goat.
Goat versus
Bye.